let's dive right into the absolute deepest mysteries of human existence. Seriously, have you ever really stopped to wonder, what exactly is your mind? What's your brain? And perhaps most profoundly, who is the one actually experiencing all of this? In this explainer, we're going to unpack the very architecture of reality itself. Because look, for years we've all been taught how to think, right? We go to school, we learn math, we learn science, we learn logic. But I want to start by asking you a question that most of us literally never learn the answer to. What actually is thinking itself?
It's kind of wild when you realize no one really taught us what the actual mechanism of thought truly is. So we are going to peel back the layers of reality together, starting from the tangible, physical world that we all know, and moving deep into the profound, invisible forces that dictate our everyday lives. Let's kick things off by decoding the mind and the brain. We really need to separate the physical hardware from the abstract software. We use the words mind and brain interchangeably all the time in casual conversation, but they are vastly different things. Looking at the physical hardware first, your brain, this incredibly complex web of deciding neurons, is essentially a 1 kilogram watery organ. I mean, it's practically a meat computer that generates enough electricity to power a small light bulb. It's one of the most complex structures in the known universe. Scientists often describe it like a massive network, where each individual neuron receives physical signals, processes them, and then makes a rapid-fire decision about whether to pass that signal forward. Everything you see, everything you feel, and everything you think is linked to this very tangible biological system. But contrast that physical hardware with the mind. The mind is honestly one of the most mysterious things in existence, mostly because there's no exact physical definition for it. It's subtler than space itself. Your mind is where perception, learning, language, and intelligence actually come together. The Buddha famously summarized it perfectly. We are what we think. With our minds, we create our world. Your life isn't just passively happening to you. It is actively being created through your thoughts. Your mind is the true architect here. So looking at them side by side, the crucial distinction is clear. While the physical brain operates as a tangible network, processing chemical and electrical signals, the mind is this incredibly subtle, abstract space that actually shapes your perception and reality. And this brings up the ultimate question: does the mind simply come from the brain, or is there something much, much deeper at play? To understand how these two interact to construct our reality, we've got to talk about cognition. Cognition is the exact bridge where your senses collect data, your brain processes it, and your mind actually experiences it. It encompasses your perception, your memory, your reasoning, and your decision-making. But here's the fascinating catch. Even with all of our modern science and highly advanced imaging, we still don't fully understand how the actual feeling of experience arises from this entire process. But, modern neuroscience does show us exactly how cognition actively builds our day-to-day reality. And spoiler alert, it's not by just passively recording what's out there. Your brain is a prediction machine. It works through a process called minimizing prediction error. Basically, step 1, your brain constantly makes guesses about what the world is going to look, sound, and feel like. Step 2, you experience reality. Step 3, if there's a mismatch between what your brain expected and what actually happened, you feel a sense of discomfort and you are forced to act to correct it. So your reality is literally constructed, in part, from your very own expectations. Which brings us to our next major theme: the source of everything. Let's move to the next layer of the onion and explore a massive paradigm shift. If reality is constructed by our perceptions and our brain's predictions, we have to ask a foundational question. Does matter create awareness? Or does awareness create matter? Is consciousness just a fortunate byproduct of a watery 1 kilogram brain? Or is consciousness actually the source of everything? In our universe, which physics tells us is full of probabilities and quantum uncertainty, something has to turn sheer possibility into solid reality. And that something that turns possibility into reality, it's experience itself. Reality exists because it is perceived. Think of it like a vast, complex video game that's rendered on a screen by invisible lines of code. Well, our universe may very well be rendered by consciousness. This is a staggering thought. You aren't simply a tiny object navigating around inside a giant universe. Actually, the universe is happening inside of you. It is appearing inside your awareness. And that leads us right into the illusion of the self. Because this metaphysical reality brings us to a really mind-bending idea about who you actually are in this beautifully rendered universe. I mean, we all feel like a solid, unchanging person, right? But many philosophers and scientists suggest you aren't a solid, fixed entity at all. Your identity is not a static thing. Instead, it's a constant, flowing stream of experiences. You are a process that is continuously being created, updated, and rendered, moment by moment by moment. You are a flow.
So how do we actually stay so stable?
Well, it's a full body experience.
If the self is just a flowing process, constantly changing moment to moment, how do we stay so incredibly stable? Even when your thoughts completely change, you still feel like you. To answer that, recent scientific models show that you are definitely not just a brain floating in a jar somewhere. Your mind involves your entire body. You are a self-correcting, living system of intelligence. Think about it. Your heart actually affects your thinking. Your gut actively influences your emotions. Your hormones drastically shape your perception. Cognition is not just a neural event happening up in your skull, it is a full-body experience. Your entire biological system is constantly balancing change and stability at the exact same time just to maintain that continuous feeling of identity.
Okay, let's tie this all together into designing your destiny.
We've covered some incredibly deep ground here, from the neurons in your brain to the quantum rendering of the universe. But why does this matter on a practical, day-to-day level for you right now? It matters because this knowledge fundamentally changes how you live your life. If your thoughts literally construct a reality, and if consciousness is the true foundation of matter, then your future isn't random. You aren't powerless against the whims of the world. You are actively participating in creation. Your life is not just happening to you, it is quite literally unfolding through you.
So what's your ultimate responsibility as a conscious being? It becomes crystal clear. Number 1, observe your thoughts, because they are the literal blueprints of your reality. Number 2, refine your mind, really tuning that subtle instrument that sits above the physical brain. And number 3, act consciously. You've got to navigate the world knowing that your future is directly influenced by how you harness this incredibly powerful, full-body living system of intelligence.
Your mind is incredibly powerful, and your awareness is infinitely deeper than anything we were ever taught in school. The journey inward to truly understand this is the most powerful journey you will ever take. So I'll leave you with a final provocative thought. Now that you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are the active architect of your reality, how will you create your destiny today? What are you going to build next? Think about it and take that power into your